Wow, what a great YouTube video I was watching when I should have been working on Chadwick Jones. What to do now? Oh, I know. I'm gonna check the Internet Movie Database TM to see what movies I'm going to review next. Well, time to quit. For the longest time, I thought A Dire Situation would go on forever. Obviously, I knew the whole 2 movies every week thing wasn't going to always be possible, but these videos are so easy to make, there's so much fun to do, that I figured I would be making them on my deathbed. Clearly, I was wrong. The more devout of my followers would have noticed that my upload schedule has been a little lax recently. Videos that should have come out a week earlier have been put up late with seemingly no explanation why. For instance, the last 2 reviews were actually filmed last week, as I did not see any new movies this weekend. There are many reasons for this, but they all boil down to 2 main reasons. The emotional one, and the practical one. First, the emotional part. I don't like doing this anymore. This should not surprise anyone. This has felt more like an obligation than a hobby for the past few months, ever since I saw Transformers 5, coincidentally. Of course, there have been many times in entire situations, a long history, where I've felt like throwing in the towel, but I've come to accept that these things tend to ebb and flow with time, and, you know, I can get used to that. If it were just, like, if it was just my feelings on the matter, I wouldn't even be considering quitting right now. However, there is still the practical reason. Consideration for the future. You see, I graduated college a couple months ago with an associate's degree in video production. Now naturally, since I worked so hard for this degree, I'm gonna want to put it to use. So as of right now, I am serving an internship that'll get me real on-set experience. Now why would this affect Dire Situations, you might ask? Well, the long-term goal here is to eventually move back to the Los Angeles area, where all my friends and family are, and where I was born, and eventually become a cog in the studio system. This has been my dream from day one. So for the last few months, as I've been letting loose all my thoughts on every single movie I watch, I started to realize something. These words might come back to haunt me. All the horrible things that I am probably going to say about the Justice League movie might get the attention of the wrong person someday, and might hurt my chances for employment. But even ignoring this factor, assuming that I am still able to become a Hollywood sellout despite all of these reviews, we will eventually run into another problem. Bias. It is not only likely, but in fact inevitable, that as I become more and more entrenched in the big studio system, I am going to start to be influenced by things outside of the films themselves. Perhaps the director is somebody I want to work with. Perhaps I did some effects for the movie in question. Perhaps the film is actually in direct competition with a passion project of mine. These things are all going to happen at some point. In short, even if I do keep this show stumbling along in spite of the risks, at a certain point my words will become meaningless. And I would rather end the show right here before getting anywhere near that point. So what does this mean for this channel? Well, since A Dire Situation makes up over 90% of my content, there will be a lot less content. However, since I am no longer obliged to see every single movie that comes out, I will have a lot more free time to work on other projects that I've been wanting to get out there. Hopefully I'm planning on releasing something to this channel at least once a month. Now before you all start complaining that some crappy romantic comedy was the very last Dire Situation, fear not. This weekend just so happens to contain 2 movies that are perfect for me to go out on. Kingsman 2 and the Lego Ninjago movie. Both of these have a lot of potential, and I think they will make a nice conclusion to the saga. Also, as a bonus, I'm going to check out Darren Aronofsky's Mother, because I hear that is, interesting. I would also like to give a shout out to the very first movie that I am going to skip with my newfound freedom, American Assassin. Congratulations! I have absolutely no interest in watching you whatsoever! Thank you to all my subscribers who have stuck with me for this long journey. And thank you to all the people who will continue to support me for all these changes. Final reviews will be up in a few days. See you then.